Hi friends, and welcome to episode 12 of Biting Cat's Let's Elden Ring, an intelligence-focused playthrough of the game intended for players new to From Software games who are looking for a comfortable way to experience the world and story of Elden Ring. We had a big episode yesterday. We are near the end of Ranni's massive storyline, which is all entirely optional. It's a side quest. To recap, we crossed the Lake of Rot. We fully explored Noctella, the Eternal City, and last of all, we fought Astel, Natural Born of the Void, a very high-level boss right here in this arena. And as such, we are now ready to run into this cave and see what awaits. And it's a lift. So up we go. We're pretty far underground at the moment. This lift is moving quite fast. Deep Ansel Well. Moonlight Altar. As you can see, we're on this mysterious plateau that is inaccessible from the ground. So the only kind of normal way to get here is this route. So across the Lake of Rot through Noctella is quite a journey. What's here? Well, first of all, here's Side of Grace. We'll activate. Let's go ahead and wait till day, just out of habit. And we're not going to do a whole lot here at the moment. This is a pretty high level location. It's not that we can't handle it, but there's only one thing here we need at the moment. And we'll have a much more comfortable time here if we come back after several levels. So this church is our destination. And wow, look at this. It's the dragon from in front of Ranni's tower. So obviously we're going to ignore that. We're not going to fight it. We're just going to go straight to the grace here. I mean, fighting it might be on the menu, but let's not do that now. You know, we've got 13,000 runes. And we didn't come here to fight dragons. These star shards aren't really, I don't know. The game makes a big deal out of them. It shows a big splash every time you pick one up, but I don't get too excited about it. What they do is they make you slowly recover FP, which is handy at times, but it's not handy a lot of the time, where you're not necessarily needing FP later, you're needing it right now. Still, just in case, I'm going to pick them up. There's one by the entrance, but I don't think I care enough to go back there. Anyway, what we want is down here. And wow, it's a pretty mauled, mangled two fingers. And it looks like Ranni's doll, although It's in pretty bad shape, isn't it? A pool of blood. And you'll notice the option here doesn't say talk, it says put on ring. Here she is.
So it was thee who would become my lord. Perhaps I needn't have warned thee. I am pleased, however. Thou art a fitting choice. I go now to the night sky. It is there I shall find mine order. I bid thee travel the path of the Lord, and once all is done, we shall see each other once more.
And what's this? Dark Moon Greatsword. Let's have a look. So it scales with strength, dex, but mostly in intelligence. You'll notice we have the attributes required to wield it. Just barely, actually, and only because we're wearing that talisman. So this is a high intelligence weapon, a moon greatsword bestowed by a Carian queen upon her spouse to honor long-standing tradition, one of the legendary armaments. Ranni's signal is a full moon, cold and leaden, and this sword is but a beam of its light. Unique skill, Moonlight Greatsword. Raise the sword aloft, bathing it in the light of the dark moon. Temporarily increases magic attack power and imbues blade with frost. Charged attacks release blasts of moonlight. Alright, so we have runes enough to, or we have stones enough to upgrade it to +9. So let's go ahead and do that. And this is going to put us at heavy, but just so we can compare, you know, damage between our claymore and the Dark Moon sword. We may not have enough runes. We may need to pop one. Yep, we're out of runes. We need a couple thousand more. And we could pop this, but I want to talk about that a little first, so not yet. This should be enough. We'll see.
Back already, no matter.
Yep. Okay, so let's compare. So the claymore is at 471 and the greatsword is at 632. So a really big jump in terms of power. Now this is going to be an adjustment. You know, we got a lot out of that Phalanx Ash of War. You know, it's very powerful. And the other thing is this doesn't thrust, so we are going to miss the thrust. But it's worth it. It still does a ton of poise damage. We'll talk about mechanically how it works in a second. But first, let's go over here. Before we do anything, I want to go ahead and get this moon. So this is an Ash of War, but it only really goes on really large weapons, which we don't really use. I mean, it is a good Ash of War. This is the Bastard Stars. Now, this is also a great weapon for an intelligence build like us. However, kind of like the Moonveil Katana, it has a higher dex. Now, like Moonveil, both these weapons end up being kind of good if you are able to invest in a secondary stat. So, you know, our trajectory in this playthrough is getting intelligence to 80. That's the soft cap, because that will not only benefit our melee damage, but also our spell casting, right? So we want that 80. But if we were to say play New Game Plus, well, we'd be at a wall with our intelligence damage. So the question becomes, well, how else can I increase my damage? Well, if you have a weapon that does, you know, double duty, and you can start adding more to it, like a weapon that also scales well with dex, like this one. Well, you know, we could start piling on dexterity. Moonveil's kind of the same. The Moonlight Greatsword, or Dark Moon Greatsword, also scales with strength and dex, but maybe not to the extent that these do. Anyway, Bastard Stars isn't useful to us now, but could it be useful in New Game Plus? Yeah, maybe so. The real question for us right now is, do I want to use this remembrance for something, or do I just want to consume it? Right now, I think I'm not going to do anything. We can decide later. It's probably only like 40 runes or something, which, let's be honest, at this point, it's not even enough to level up twice. So let's just kind of explore a little, try to find some more stuff, and just see what happens. One unfortunate thing you'll notice is that this is heavier than our Claymore, which means the hood's going to have to go, and we're going to have to go back to the headband, at least until we start investing in endurance, which we will eventually. But you're probably wondering, what now? Well, there's something yet to do in Caelid. There's at least one cave. It's this one right here, and we get some 5 smithing stones that we can use on our shield, probably. There's actually a couple of things yet to do here. One of them is coming up here. There's some spells that we definitely want to have. There's also you know, another tree spirit where we can get some more tears. So we have some kind of cleanup activities that we want to perform before we go on to the Atlas Plateau, which is what's up here. So let's get started on those. This is going to be kind of a grab bag of little mini vignettes. All right, so we've kind of had this unified theme of Ranni's story, and now things are going to kind of be a little more open and exploratory. But let's go to the good old Boiler Prawn Shack to start with. Did I ever get that woman's...
What are you looking at? Trying to start?
We never got the necklace, so we can do the necklace.
And I'll consider, but I'm not in love with it. You're a shrewd one first.
It costs 1,000 runes, unfortunately. That's okay. We'll pop 2 of these. And we'll pop 1 of these.
Decided to play Obi-Wan. Alright, things no bloody idea.
The prawns are actually a nice buff against physical attacks. We don't have any money for them right at this moment, but it's a good thing to keep in mind. One unfortunate thing is that the sword clips through the shield, which really bothers me, so I'm gonna unequip the shield just so I don't have to look at that. It's kind of infuriating.
The thug should be resting at an abandoned home down the way. Please, I must have the necklace back. Oh yes, that is my missing necklace. Thank you kindly. I am in your debt. Did I forget to announce myself? I am Raya, in the service of Lady Tanith of the Volcano Manor. I seek stalwart Tarnished, who might join our house. You are very brave yourself. Not only a steady hand, but a steady heart. Merciless, even to your own kind. Such strength is precisely what my mistress seeks. Please, take this.
Invitation.
Brave Tarnished. Seek the Altus Plateau, the realm of the Erd Tree. Most Tarnished are doomed to wander the outskirts of the lands between, peering wistfully at the towering Erd Tree. But you are no ordinary Tarnished. And once that is proven, the Volcano Manor will fully extend its invitation to fight amongst a family of champions.
So we'll look at the invitation. Must be way over here. Yep. Brave Tarnished, seek the Atlas Plateau and the realms of the Erd Tree. Prove yourself by making this journey. The Volcano Manor will fully extend its invitation to fight amongst a family of champions. And we will go there and do that. That's where one of the shard bearers is, and as part of this playthrough we are going to try to face them all. Okay, with that done, I'm going to kind of stumble around a little bit. I guess I could fight one of those and hopefully not lose. There's a site of grace here I just want to activate. So you might as well see how this sword works. If I activate the Ash of War, where's that? There he is. He's waiting for me. Alright, if we activate this, it puts a buff on the sword. It now applies frost. It also does a projectile. Both the projectile and the sword apply frostbite, which adds once it processes, adds a 20% damage bonus. The other thing is that the projectile and the sword, physical sword, are 2 different sources of damage. So if you hit somebody up close with a strong attack, it will hit them with both the projectile and the sword. as kind of a double duty. And so, and you know, since we've been doing charge attacks, if you do a charge attack, that's even that much more powerful. So it hits hard. The projectile by itself does a lot of stance damage, so you can stagger some pretty powerful enemies just using the projectile. The only downside really to the projectile is that even though it looks like it could hit more than one enemy at a time, it can't. So just so you know where we are, we're just north of that island we were just on, which is just west of the woman missing the necklace and just south of the boiler prawn shack. Okay, so you can see where we are, because this cave is kind of hard to spot. And bring the shield up. This shouldn't, you know, I don't want to jinx anything. This shouldn't be too demanding for us. We could clear the whole thing out just using the sword, honestly, but some of these enemies are kind of tedious. So I'm gonna one-shot them with magic instead, just to, you know, keep us from getting bogged down. There's like, yeah, you see that guy there? Even not charged, you got to remember, you saw the damage numbers for this. This is doing a tremendous amount of damage compared to our claymore. And I do have a plan for getting that last upgrade. We're not going to do it just yet, but it's coming. See that? The nice thing about this is you cast it once and you can get lots of kills. Oh wow, look at that. Anyway, point being, you can see it's still charged. As long as it's charged, you can keep shooting these projectiles. Spear Talisman. Spear Talisman is nice. Obviously has to do with thrusting attacks, which we don't currently have. Now, I'm going to need to think about another weapon. I'm probably going to use the, you know, we're going to need a weapon that does sacred damage in case we fight more skeletons. And that is best for a weapon that doesn't really scale well anyway, so who cares that we don't have a lot of faith. Like the claymore would be good for that. But I like the idea of having a weapon just for thrusting, you know, maybe a spear, you know, something something we can either find that scales with magic, or else just put magic using a wet blade. We'll see. I haven't really come up with a plan for that, but it's something I have in mind. As you can see here, we're just kind of making our way down. You can see there's a snail in there. These are probably weak enough that we can just one-shot them. Is there another one? Yes. Oh, I didn't kill him. That's surprising. Oh well. There's a big room full of those things here. I may regret this. Nope, didn't regret it at all. So that worked out very well. There's like 3 of these snails down here. And I think what I really want to do, if I can just kill 2 of them and then run up and... oh well, that didn't quite work. Alright, let's go back and get your little thing here. Now this is another one of these Bloodhound Knights. I don't really like fighting them. They have that claw that lets them reach past your shield. But you know the drill. We're going to summon our friend. And we're going to drink. Really, you know, I'm going to just wait. If he doesn't want to charge in. You see, he's he's not really holding up well to the sword. We're over leveled for him right now. But the sword is also kind of overpowered, to be completely honest. So we're just kind of getting this out of the way. We can't actually do much here right now.
Foul tarnished. What do you want? I told the old hearing brute that I possess no such medallion. Or have you come to take more from me? Was my other half not enough? I told the old hearing brute already that I possess no such medallion. Or have you come to take more from me? Was my other half not enough?
All-hearing brute. That sounds a little like all-knowing, doesn't it? Gideon is an opportunist and a dirtbag. But we'll come back to that later. There's not much we can do with or for her right now. Wait until morning, as always. The moveset of this sword is nicer when you've got it two-handed. You do this nice forward slash, or if it's one-handed, it's kind of this side swipe. And I prefer having something that works in a narrow area, so you have an attack where you don't hit the wall, because that can happen at the worst possible moment sometimes. So, I don't know. I think it's good to try getting used to not using the shield. There are some fights where the shield is going to make perfect sense. And even if you get great at fighting without it, as I've said before, you still want, in my opinion, your mimic tier to have it. Like, it's good for them to have a good shield, even if you never actually use it yourself. So, you know, we're going to continue to invest in this shield. And there will be some notable fights where we will want to use it. Should be able to one-hit all this stuff. Here's our friend, you might remember.
Oh, it's you. Well, what do you make of it? What's happened to this village? I witnessed a sight much the same in my infancy. The oppression of the weak. Murder and pillage unchecked. A waking nightmare made by men. But this time, I'm a woman grown. And though the suffering cannot be undone, I can still mete out justice. Justice to the oppressors. Let the scars I carve remind them. I am Nefeli, warrior. But this time, and though this justice...
So she's a good person, right? It's kind of a... yeah, this is messy. So, big crowd is going to want to fight. Best thing you can do is just take them all out quickly. And I could have done that better. You can still do guard counters with the sword, and I could have done stuff like that if I'd wanted to. But honestly, there's really no need. These are called albinarics, and they're kind of artificial life, and their legs stop working or don't work. That woman we were talking to with the wolf is actually one of them. That's why she's kind of lying the way she was lying. She actually can't walk. So, okay, we did that, right? Not a lot to it. We're gonna rest at this thing now. There's an enemy up here. Can be kind of dangerous. He's not super dangerous, but you shouldn't underestimate him, I guess. He's kind of like, he's one of those kind of perfumer types. He like throws out dangerous kind of mists, and we haven't really seen much of those types. They're much more common on Atlas Plateau. Never really had a chance though. There's another guy over here. This is another reason to two-handed, otherwise we'd be banging our sword up against the corner there. Old codger ahead. Let's see what this says. Fortnight. If only I had a legs. Time for death. So none of those are very informative. But if you attack this well-lit, mysteriously well-lit pot, I'm just going to roll into it.
Please, no. Dear me. I haven't a clue. No secrets lie with me, not a one. Oh, please leave me be. Wait then. You're not one of them? Well, what a relief. Oh, goodness me. I'm Albus, an albinoric. As you can see, we're finished. The whole village is finished. The cursemongers have destroyed everything. No one that remains has their wits about them. I beg you. Would you look after this medallion? You must keep it out of the cursemonger's hands.
Cursemonger.
And if you should meet the young Albinoric Latenna, then please give it to her.
So that's the woman
chosen
we just met.
land awaits us Albinorics. The medallion is the key that leads to the city. It's only a quaint treasure for we who cannot make the journey. But for dear Latenna, it is needed to fulfill her purpose. My legs will soon fade, and with them my life. Alas, this is the immovable fate of all Albinorics.
And that's it for him. Let's take a look at the secret. Brandishing the medallion with both halves conjoined will activate the grand lift of Rold, granting access to a hidden path. In other words, this secret medallion will guide the bearer to the land of Miquella's Halig Tree. Now, we haven't heard a whole lot about Miquella. Miquella and Melania, along with Godwyn the Golden, who died along with, at the same time Ranni did. Those three are all children of Radagon and Marika. So demigods. We don't know much else about him other than Melania is the one who infected Radon with rot. Well, I could be better at this. I'm kind of messing up. I don't actually need this. I don't know why I'm running after it. So I'll re-up, drink the potion. There's a guy called an Omen Killer here. They are really bad news. One of the ashes I want to experiment with later is of a Omen Killer. It'll be a while before we find it. But it's another one I'm thinking of upgrading. You see there's some dogs here. That's the Omen Killer guy over there. Alright, well, we've got his attention, so it's definitely time to call our friend over. So we're doing nice damage here. Yeah. There's just not a lot to that at this point. I don't think the dogs ever even took an interest. There's not actually anything down here, I don't think. And we're going to find out. But I think this is pretty much a dead end. Get a rune arc. That's a I can't get it because it's in the air. No, I got it. Cool. Alright, so that's the end of this area. Really, we just came here to get that rune so we can go talk to her. And that'll be one little task down.
The all-hearing brute already, that I possess no such medallion. Or have you come to take more from me? Was my other half not enough?
Do you speak true?
So old Albus entrusted his medallion to you. Then I've no choice but to trust that this was his dying will. Let's try again. I'm Latenna. An Albinoric, the same as old Albus. My apologies for my coarse words earlier. I presume the worst. Seeing that you're another tarnished like that all-hearing brute, I hope that you will forgive me. The medallion's better off in your hands anyway. Would you consider doing me a great service? I must go back. There is something I must do, even if I must say farewell to my wolf Lobo. Will you show me the way? To the land of Miquella's Halig tree. If you accept, I would gladly apprise you of the whereabouts of the medallion's other half. Thank you kindly. They say the other half of the medallion is beyond the Forbidden Lands, north of the Erd Tree, in Castle Sol, on the mountain tops of the Giants, accessible by the Grand Lift of Rold. Then I suppose it's time. Farewell, Lobo. My faithful wolf. My better half. I will go with the Tarnished, so that our journey will
You see all this blood here. I'm assuming
Forgive me, Lobo.
people thought they could fight the wolf, and maybe it didn't work out. I've never tried.
Call
So you can
upon
summon her in a
me,
fight now.
and I will fight
She has a
at your
great
side.
bow with tremendous range, but she can't move. So definitely kind of a situational thing. There are people that love using her. I haven't really done it much. Basically just because I don't think I'm diligent enough to plan out you know, where I would place her, and then could I keep enemies busy so they'd stay away. You know, it doesn't seem like it would suit my style of play. So what's next? Well, I know we want to go over there, but let's got something else I want to do first. Now we've already killed the guardian for that tree and gotten the tears from it, so we're not here for that. We're actually going to visit our old friend Edgar. Edgar, you might remember, was the ridiculously irresponsible father that thought sitting on a roof of a castle was more important than taking care of his blind daughter. And of course he said he was going to have revenge. Like most invaders, we're going to deal with this with Night Comet. It's just the easiest way to handle this kind of foolishness. He does hit pretty hard. You know, you don't want to goof off, but at this point in the game, he's really undermatched for us. We'll get a grape for that. We'll get his halberd +8, which is really nice. If we wanted to explore, you know, putting magic on a halberd, that would be a good choice. We can actually kind of do that right now, I think. You know, it's already on spinning strike, so we just don't change it, and then we can put it on magic. Now if we compare it to you know, this is +8, this is +13, so it's not really apples to apples. But you know, I've thought about, like I said just a minute ago, you know, making a magic weapon where I can put my own ash on it and just have it as kind of a situational thing where maybe thrusting is better, or maybe something like the sword dance skill could be handy. Just kind of, you know, wanted to explore and experiment a little bit. Anyway, the main reason I did that was just to get the halberd, honestly. Because we haven't done it yet. So the next, and well, there's another reason. Let's go over here. Remember, these are the fairly extensive ruins that are along the coast of the lake. Purified ruins. This is where we found the Two Fingers medallion. Here's our friend again.
Is someone there? Would you donate any Shabriri grapes in your possession to me? I'm on a pilgrimage in search of the distant light, and when I eat one of those grapes, I can feel the light in the back of my eyes. You're not like the others who give me grapes, are you? They rest their trembling hands upon me. Howling wordlessly, they gently stroke my eyes, their frail fingers emaciated. Yet still, they give me the grapes. But you seem somehow firmer. You are most kind indeed. May the blessing of the fingers be upon you.
So that's it for that right this moment. But she's probably here at Gatetown Bridge now. Yep.
Hello? Is someone there? Would you donate any Shabriri grapes in your possession to me? I'm on a pilgrimage in search of the distant light, and when I eat one of those grapes, I can feel the light in the back of my eyes. Oh, many thanks to you. Now I can feel the distant light once more. That aside, I wonder what Shabriri grapes really are. Delectably tender and sweet, yet searing. What a sight they must be to behold.
Voice acting there is really good. So, to advance this, you have to tell her the truth.
No. That's not possible. Not all of those people. Their own... So those noises I heard were... Delectably, what a sight.
I shouldn't have walked away.
Not all of those people. So those noises. Sorry. I'm all right now. Don't mind me. I apologize. You only did as I asked. I'll be fine. Think no more of it.
So this hangs up a lot of people. You have to rest and then come back.
Is that you over there? I've gleaned something very important indeed, thanks to you. The reason why it was eyes I had to eat. The distant light is far and frail, so faint it can't be seen by the naked eye. But with everyone's eyes together, it appears. Finally, it all makes sense. I'm certain now. I will be a finger maiden. I've gleaned something very... I'm certain.
Okay. And now, we can continue. We're going to see her again in just a minute. Unfortunately, didn't activate the site of grace here at the church, so we need to go there. There's something I want to check first. So we have 3 seeds, and I think now is the perfect time, before we forget, for me to go back and get that seed in the basement that I told you I was gonna long ago. I said, well, we'll come back here later. I think now's the time to go back. So we're at the castle again. That's where we had our boss fight. And there's those jars, remember that? We have to do a little goofy platforming. And we're gonna jump into this ledge, which is skinny. This is the only hard jump, it's just awkward. Of course I missed it. It certainly is awkward to miss it on stream like this. Sorry everybody. We'll go back again. Alright. There we go. There's like a smithing stone 2 over there. We're so far past that. That's probably what this stuff is too. Yeah, there's a 1. Gold rune 2. We're really over leveled for this. I just forgot all about it, honestly. I said we'd come back, but see what I mean though, that you want a forward slash instead of that side slash sometimes, so you're not hitting the wall. Over there still in rocks or something. Very good. Got some shoes. The Manor Tower shield isn't great. Surely what you seek is somewhere close by. And they're talking about this down here. Make our way down. This takes us back actually to a site of grace. So if we do mess up, we've got an easy way back. We've got some bats that we're going to have to take out, so range is probably the way to go. I think that's all of them. Whoa, I got a little twitchy there for some reason. All for a smithing stone too. There are some rats down here. Because of the unique way rats tend to stun lock you, even low-level rats can be dangerous in a crowd. Just a kind of heads up. There's a big rat back there that I just almost can kill with a charge shot, but not quite. Rancor call. Alright, so this is going to be one of those worm things. Have we fought one before? May not. I can't remember. As always, charge attacks are really good for us. And that did it. So, yeah, we got our seed, right? Yeah. So we'll get another flask for that. Look at this wild thing. It's like a little cosmic horror Bloodborne moment. Just buried under the castle. The Prince of Death's pustule. We can look at that real quick. Raises vitality. Said that this pustule came from the visage of the Prince of Death, he who used to be called Godwin. As first dead of the demigods, it said he's buried deep under the capital at the Erd Tree roots. Of course, this isn't deep under the capital. It's curious that it's here. This ladder is like Metal Gear tier ladder. It just takes forever to get up. Although you can get a good look at that, which I think is probably one reason for the ladder being what it is that you can get a look at that crazy thing under the castle. And that's that. We're back here. As a reminder, that's where the iron wet blade is if we wanted it. But I don't think we don't really care about it for this build. So with that done, let's make our way back to this church. What time is it? Late day? You just never know when you're gonna Salligate flash charges. Okay, good. So we're really getting up there now. Now we can carry 12 flasks. That's pretty good. And up we go. Unequip that shield again. I don't have a look at it. Look at our sword poke through it. Now, if you're experienced with these games, you may be wondering, hey, Drew, why haven't you moved on from the meteorite staff? It's a fantastic starting staff, but it really falls off. And you're right, it does fall off. It hasn't really yet. The issue is, yes, if you have 80 intelligence, there are much better staves once you upgrade them. The problem is that's two kind of lines of progression, right? You have getting your intelligence to a certain point, but you also have upgrading a staff to a certain point. We haven't upgraded the meteorite staff at all because you can't. And if I got like a good mid-game staff, it's the Academy Glintstone staff. So let's say I got that and I invested all the runes and all the money into getting it to around plus 18. You know, it would only be competitive with the meteorite staff. It wouldn't be vastly better. The reality is, I'd rather just hold on to our resources and invest in things like our shield, you know, and the carrion staff once we get it. So it's not really.
Oh, hello.
I'm making a decision about how to prioritize resources.
They're special grapes which only grow on those
You know,
who've
other
been
people
cursed
don't,
by the black
for
fiends.
a quote-unquote
I'm
pure
truly
intelligence
about to try
build.
one. The distant light seems far closer than before, but I can't sense a thing from the usual grapes anymore. Please, could you donate a fingerprint grape to me? Without one, I don't know. I feel like I might go mad.
So she wants a fingerprint grape now. So she isn't backing off of this grape thing after all. She's escalating. She wants a special, now more rarefied grape, which we will oblige. Actually, we're going to give it to her. But anyway, in this build, one of the assumptions is that this Moonlight Greatsword is going to carry us and is going to get us through kind of a slow point. By the time the staff is completely out of gas, we will be ready for the carrion staff, and we will have been handily beating a lot of stuff with our plus 10 greatsword, because it will be plus 10 very soon, which is max level. So anyway, feel free to do something different if you want. You've seen me collect all these stones. If you want to get the academy staff or one of these other staffs and start upgrading it, you know, go right ahead. You know, this is just an idea. You know, you can and should feel free to take another tack if you want. So with that said, we're going to go north. The lift of Dectus, or whatever, is this thing right here. We don't have everything we need to use it at the moment. We're missing half of the medallion, which is okay. We're going to get it. We don't actually need it right now. We don't need it ever, because we've already gone to Atlas Plateau. But for completeness sake, we will eventually take the lift. But for right now, I do want to go up there. Of course, we're going to have to run past all this scary stuff. Those vehicle-looking things are the absolute worst. I mean, they're just terrible. On a sprint, though, we can outrun them every time. So this is the lift. We're not using it. We are going to use the Side of Grace in here, and we're going to adjust our memorized spells. This will probably be, if not the last, one of the last things we do. Although before I forget, there's one other thing in this Liurnia area we need to do. Remember our old buddy, the wizard in the church? We told him we'd bring him a key, and we just so happen to have one.
To learn another. Wonderful. You're most well. Why not find yourself a glintstone key? Without one, you can't pass through the academy, and you'll never reach the Erdtree capital. And if you find an extra glintstone key, perhaps, once you've tied up all your loose ends, and I can be very patient, would you consider donating it to me? I know it. I'm a bluntstone. Nary a hint of talent for sorcery, but still, my place is at the academy. Are you certain you're willing to give your glintstone key to me? My, oh my. Thank you. thank you dearly. Now I can go back to the academy to resume my study of glintstone sorceries. And the very stars.
Erudition.
Back to learn another. Why, of course.
So, one thing that happens again and again is people get what they want in this game, in this story, and it's really bad for them. He's no exception. We'll go, just to kind of tie things off, we'll visit him at the academy. But most side quests, people, things end poorly for people. The other thing I want to do, speaking of the academy, is make sure we talk to Yura again. I'm trying to get so we don't have to come back to this region again once we leave. I want to leave for good. Now I probably will forget something, but
Yes, I've been tracking Eleonora for quite some time. She is the deadliest of all bloody fingers. She's felled many an old hand already, but in spite of her cessblood zealotry, Eleonora is a proud knight. If she comes for you, do not think twice. You must flee. There is no shame in self-preservation. Be on your way. Perhaps we will meet again, if fate permits.
okay, good. I wanted to make sure we exhausted all his dialogue. It looks like now we have. Oh my God, I still didn't. I still did not activate the site of grace of the church. Not that it matters right this minute, but that's shocking to me. All right, anyway, let's go back here. If I'm close to leveling up, I'm gonna pop some runes and do it. Let's see. Like 4,000. Yeah, you know what? I am gonna do it. It's not that we're about to do something super dangerous, but it's the kind of dangerous that can feel sudden and cheap. And I've learned that losing runes that way feels worse than some other types. So it looks like we need just like 1,300, is that right? We'll see. Sometimes my math isn't the best. Alright, so where we are, we're taking vigor to 35 and intelligence to 40. So 32, 37, that's 2 and 2. Yeah. Alright, good. We can talk to Melina.
Spoken echoes of Queen Marika linger here as well. Shall I share them with you? In Marika's own words, the Erd Tree governs all. The choice is thine. Become one with the Order, or divest thyself of it, to wallow at the fringes, a powerless upstart.
Alright. So for this we probably won't actually use it, but I'm gonna put it on, believe it or not, this lucidity spell, because we're about to risk getting some madness. Alright. And this little jaunt will probably be the last thing we do for the night. So I talked about madness a couple episodes ago, and I was kind of wrong. So there is something like madness in Bloodborne that just kills you outright. It doesn't outright kill you in Elden Ring, but it does. It knocks off a huge chunk of health that very well may kill you, and it also like freezes you for a second, so you aren't able to defend yourself, and more importantly, you aren't able to eliminate the source of the madness. So you're very vulnerable for a moment. So for a lot of people, it probably is death, but it isn't necessarily instant death. So there's a couple of options here, and this may not work great, but I'm going to try it. Oh, I was wrong. I thought there was a whirlwind here, but it must be further up the hill. But there's going to be this massive, like, Eye of Sauron looking flame at the top of a tower, and as long as, like, you are visible to it, your madness is going to build up. See, there it goes. And you can stop and kind of hang out, but you're probably better off just getting it against the wall here. Now this is where things are going to get a little silly. We're protected because we're in the shadow of this thing, right? But the moment we come out, we're in danger. So we've got to get, like, kind of, we can run into the tunnel. The problem with that is that there's a couple of rats in there. And so I'm going to try to just, oh shit, I'm going to try to just sprint in there. And that didn't work, right? So the big problem was that I didn't get all the way inside the tower, so I got the madness put on me, and you know, then the rats killed me. But that's okay. We didn't really risk anything. Maybe I'd be happier taking that. Or I might just be jumping into some kind of jackpot. Let's find out. Oh man. So that wasn't what I was hoping for. I was hoping it would drop me on top of the tower, but I guess that was too much to hope for. Okay, that's fine. So you can cast a spell and get rid of the build up. Bad ahead, yes. I wonder. I wonder if there's a way to do it without ah, shit. The wrong spell prepared. That's okay. Wow, you guys. Alright, well, I know what I'm going to do. I think. We'll see. Sorry to subject you to this. The funny thing is, I've never actually died doing this before. I guess I was just lucky. So I can certainly see how my strategy isn't effective. Yeah. So I think instead of trying to get in, I'm going to try to find one of these rocks. Whoa. We'll see if that works. It's all about line of sight. Whoa. What are you doing? Wow, guys. That was something else, wasn't it? There are a lot of rats over here. Okay. No hit. Let's try this. Wow, still no hit. All right. Say, is that never going to go away? Here you are. Jeez Louise. I don't know what to say, y'all. That was just far out. There's still probably some in there. We're just gonna have to go in. Yeah. Okay. My goodness. Now if you stand under this last ladder, it will build up on you. So you want to wait until it's going away and then start climbing. And then hopefully you can kill all these guys before it builds up. And the nice thing is, once they're gone, they're gone. If you kill them all, they don't come back. So, we have finished this little jaunt with the frenzied flame. Get our 43 runes back. I assume these wolves are frenzied also, though I really don't know. I'm not going to take any chances at this point. There's no reason to get close to anything. So there's a few things we're going to do up here. One of them is going to be to explore the village of the Frenzied Flame, which is down there. There's also a church where we can get another sacred tier. There's a rise, right? That actually has some really, a couple of really cool spells that we'll be able to add to our repertoire. So this, it's a hassle to get up here, but this is going to be a productive trip. We'll also be able to fight a tree spirit, and we're going to be able to get a fingerprint grape for poor Hyena. So we've opened up a lot of possibilities for ourselves by getting through that tower. And again, those things don't come back. So once we've overcome that, we're done with it forever. We'll never have to worry about that again. So kind of a hassle, but also worth it in the end. But with that, I think it's probably a good time to go ahead and wrap things up. Tomorrow when we come back, we'll go through the village and head to the church. We'll fight off an invader on the way. We're gonna get some tears from a tree guardian there. We're gonna go into that tower and get some magic, and once that's complete, we'll go ahead and get the second piece of the Dectus medallion so that we can take the lift should we choose to. And anything else that comes up. But I'm hoping that we can more or less close the book on the Liurnia area and move on to get into some challenging content. Okay? But again, sorry you had to see me repeat that area so many times, but hopefully you learned something that'll help you maybe not make the mistakes I did. Anyway, thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow night, 9 Central Standard Time. All right. Thanks, guys.